that discusses all things horror. I am Brett.
What the fuck was that?
I was pretending like I didn't have my audio on.
Oh,
Okay.
All right.
I'm
Well, cheers, gentlemen.
Hello.
Cheers. What are you drinking tonight, Alan?
I'm drinking a Lagunitas.
Very good.
Tasty.
What are you drinking there, David?
I'm drinking a rum and coke from my Jekyll and Hyde pub.
Nice.
Little cup.
Nice. And
How about you?
I am drinking the Modern Times sour tropical fruit.
You know what I've been enjoying lately? Is just like a straight whiskey on the rocks. That's always good. I don't have any whiskey right now.
I just watched my dog pee in the house, so it's like a typical Friday night.
Typical Friday night. All right, let's see if I can see what's going on YouTube. Make sure that we're up and raring to go. See if there's any.
Oh, that's funny. I got a notification because I subscribed to us.
Oh, okay.
Oh my! Watch my dog pee in the house. So it's a typical Friday night.
Typical Friday
All right,
night. All right,
mute
let's
this shit.
see if I. Let's see if I can. All right, very good. We're on. We're live. So this is the Swearwolves horror podcast, and we are the podcast that discusses all things horror. This week, right now, technically, if all things were normal in the world, we would be on our... Well, we'd actually already be in Las Vegas at Days of the Dead. But that has been canceled.
Yeah.
So we are not there. I was actually...
Well, their guest was anyways, so.
Oh, all right. Christy says we are up. We'll add her comment. There's her comment right there. She says we are up. I can add her comment to the stream, so she'll be seen. Hey, Christy, how are you? But
Christy, for all your support.
Yeah.
Ever since you've been following us, you've been amazing. So
number one fan that is not our relative.
And maybe even more so than that.
Yeah, exactly. So I was looking forward to Days of the Dead, and I know Christy went to Days of the Dead out there in
Atlanta, right?
Atlanta. But we were going to have that in Las Vegas, and Richard Dreyfuss was going to be there, which was going to be amazing for me.
That would have been really cool, actually, because he's not one that's normally, goes to these things.
No, and I was actually quite surprised when he was added, and he was even going to do an event where he was where he was showing Jaws. And,
and probably a panel as well, and of course a meet and greet. He's got to be in his 80s, like late 80s, right?
No,
I don't think he's that old.
No, I can look it up.
No,
I bet he's late 70s.
Yeah, I would say maybe he's 70.
That'd have been cool.
Maybe late.
Yeah, well, my internet decides to search for Richard Dreyfuss. So that would have been cool. Doug Bradley was originally supposed to go. He bailed before all this came out. Richard Dreyfuss is 72, by the way.
Okay.
But Doug Bradley bailed because he had some medical issues that had come up recently anyway. But that would have been cool because I had never met him. But you guys had a couple shows ago.
Yeah. He's probably one of my favorite guests that I've ever met.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. It's really cool.
I liked him.
Yeah. Well, we had a little conversation about the Beatles and like Sabbath and, because he's from England and he loves that music. So, he loves music.
Yeah, so I know he's from England and I just got back. So when we were going to meet him, I was going to be like, chip, chip, cheerio, Doug, I was just in London.
Well, now next time you can meet him, you can ask him how his colon's doing.
Yeah, I could.
I think that's why I pulled out. So hopefully all is well up there.
Oh, down there.
And with that, like, Cheerio stuff, he would have been like, take this guy away.
Would have been amazing. Chip, chip, cheerio.
Get him out of my sight.
Glad that you are back. Welcome back, my friend.
Yeah, no, it was a little touch and go there for a minute.
You're back.
Part of there's a 8-hour time delay in Europe versus here. So we were in Paris actually when it was announced that there was going to be the stopping travel from Europe, and
right.
and it was 2:30 in the morning Paris time, and I hadn't been acclimated to the time zone change yet, so I was up anyway. Like I went to bed and then I woke up like in the middle of the night, and I was just checking the news like I do, and I saw it, and then all of a sudden there was a tweet, and then there was instant message, and then there was a text message, and then there was all this, and it was coming from David, and it was coming from my mom. It was like, are you going to be able to get back? But once you read it, it was like, yeah, you can come back if you're American.
Yeah, Alan and I were already talking about replacements for you on the show. We're like, Brett ain't coming back there.
No.
Fuck Brett.
Moving on. I was going to start the European chapter of the Swearwolves, too.
Ye old Swearwolves.
Ye old Swearwolves. Would be a good tavern.
So I would imagine you still got to enjoy Paris like right before they closed up. Right?
So the funny thing is like seemingly everywhere my wife and I went, like after we visited there, it closed down.
Fucking Americans.
So it was like we went to the Eiffel Tower. We went to the Eiffel Tower the first day there, and they just closed it, I believe, a few days ago. But we went to the Eiffel Tower. We went to the Louvre. We went to Versailles, the palace at Versailles. Went to Disneyland Paris. They closed that down like right after we left there, and then so they were closing down the border, but we were already going to London. So they were like, travel from the UK is okay. So we were like, well, even if they did close it down, we're already going to London. So we went to London, and then we went to a few places there, and then they ended up closing that whole country down. So we just scooted right along, just scoot.
Yeah.
Scoot on by.
You're literally probably like the last of the tourists that got to experience.
I know. My name will be written in the history books. They'll be saying, well, what was it like? What was it like? You were the last person to ever visit these places. You guys should go.
I was picturing like 28 days later, like you walking down the empty streets going, hello!
Yeah.
Hello!
No, you guys should definitely go. It's amazing. Paris is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
London was cool. We only spent 2 days there though. So that's kind of not enough to see everything. We saw a lot, but it wasn't enough to see everything. And I would like to see the kind of getting back to the whole horror thing. I think I sent you guys some photos, and I think I posted them on Instagram. But we went to the caverns underneath Paris.
Oh, the catacombs?
The catacombs, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And like hundreds of thousands of human remains just lining the walls, and it's skulls, and it's like, I was like, these are real, and I'm like touching them and everything, and then there's a sign that says don't touch, and I'm like, oh, I probably should have read that.
Many metal bands have used those images for like, their artwork and stuff.
Brett's over there like, they're like, no, don't fuck the skulls.
Well, there was no sign that said that.
Yeah, you gotta be like
one bone deserves another. Yeah, so that was cool. And then I know David's a really big Disney guy, just like myself, and went to Disneyland Paris, which was small, a lot smaller than the Disney.
Is that the original Euro Disney?
Yeah, they just changed the name. They changed it from Euro Disney.
Because Euro Disney was so associated with like all the fuck ups when they first opened. Like That was the big running joke. I think it was in the 90s.
Yeah, it was
when
like
they opened,
like 92, 91.
and like nothing worked. Like everything was like malfunctioning.
They had all sorts of problems.
Yeah, and they really haven't added much to it since then. Like, there's a little bit. I'm glad I went, but it was definitely just something you can go to for a few hours in one day and be done with it. But sorry, I'm burping.
Was Phantom Manor?
Pardon?
Was Phantom Manor cool?
Phantom Manor. That's what I was going to talk about. The haunted house that they have there. Phantom Manor was awesome. It was awesome. It was very dark. It like as far as lighting, but as far as like the theme of the ride, it's about this bride whose all of her suitors died because her dad like murdered them, and then her dad dies, and she's getting engaged, and like the day of her wedding, that guy hangs himself. And he doesn't show up at the wedding, and there's this phantom that's like creeping around with these like glowing eyes. Kind of reminds me of the Hatbox Ghost in the Disneyland here, but much creepier. And then like you go down into underneath, like where you'd go into the graveyard at the haunted.
The Haunted Mansion.
The Haunted Mansion. Well, you instead of going into the graveyard, you go like underneath the house, and it's like all these old remains of these old like Western saloons and shit that the house was built on. And because it's not Parisian, it's still American. It's just they speak French, and you see all these like ghosts, and they still have the ghosts singing the song, the Grim Grinning Ghosts, but it's like it doesn't really fit. It's like they just threw it in there, but it's good. It's good nonetheless.
Yeah.
You awesome. If I grab a beer.
Oh, go ahead.
Go.
I'll be back.
Okay. It's a little choppy anyway. I'm gonna check. I don't know. Are you on the YouTube channel there? Seeing anybody?
I just got it on my phone.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna see.
Alan's still there, so there is definitely a delay. He's still sitting there. Oh, there he goes.
Any comments or questions? Please let us know. Yeah, so if anybody's watching, if they have any comments or any questions or things that they want to talk about or things they want us to talk about, please write them in the comments and we will add you to the video. Other than that, I'm trying to think, movie-wise, have you guys watched anything horror-related? Will's here. Hey, Will. Will's from Texas. Well, he's actually from Arizona, but he lives in Texas now. But have you guys watched any horror-related movies?
I've been majorly slacking since. And actually, that's not true. So Friday the 13th, last Friday, I watched 2 and 3.
Did you watch? Did you end up watching 3?
I did.
Okay, yeah. So before you move on, I know your thoughts on 2 have kind of changed. Would you like to share that with everybody?
Sure. Well, I still liked it. It just wasn't. It wasn't as good as I remembered it being. I still enjoyed it, but there was a couple of times where I found myself kind of watching the time. I was like, all right. But I did like the ending. I thought like the last 10, 15 minutes were pretty cool. But I definitely would say I preferred 3 over 2.
Now, has your opinion of 3? Because I'm a big part 3 guy.
I feel like every time I watch part 3, I like it a little bit more. That one continues. It continues to rise.
I think 2 still holds up though.
Oh yeah, no, 2's good. The 2, 3, and 4. 2, 3, 4, and 6. I still think are like the best ones.
Yeah. For me, it would go 3, 4, 2, 6. At this point in time, 1. I'm a big Jason fan, so like not having Jason is like.
Right. No, I agree.
Before we go on, Will also has a question. He says, "Long-time listener, what upcoming horror films do you have high hopes for?" Alan, let's start with you. Any upcoming horror films, new ones that are coming out that you have high hopes for?
Well, I saw the trailer for A Quiet Place, and I'll be honest, like when we've watched the first one, I thought it was a really good.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you're back.
What happened?
I don't know.
Okay, say it again. You watched the first one and you were like kind of meh.
No, I liked the first. I liked the original story. I can't remember what I rated it though, but I saw the trailer for the second one, and I think it might be good. I'd like to check it out. So that's one that I have some interest in.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I'm kind of mixed feelings about that. I'm looking up our rating of it right now. By the way, Christy said part 4 is and will always be the best one. Talking about
Good.
Friday the 13th. I'm not going to argue, but
It's got the Crispin Glover dance. It's got the.
it does. I'm not going to argue, Christy, but you're wrong. Okay. Quiet Place. I gave it a 2. David and Alan both gave it a 3.5.
Yeah, so I thought it was pretty good. 3.5 is pretty good or great. So I wouldn't mind checking out the sequel. But I really haven't been in the loop with anything upcoming lately, especially with the ongoing news these days. We're kind of just living in a horror story right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you're right on right there. I think a movie that's actually just came out tonight on video on demand is The Invisible Man, and I'm actually
I was going to watch it tonight until we decided to do this instead.
Yeah.
And I saw Christy on Twitter, I think, said the same thing. Like, that was the plan. So thank you for watching us. And I'm sorry.
The three visible men.
Yeah, that one for sure looks really cool. I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Also, Halloween Kills.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that one.
I'm looking forward to the new Candyman. Has my interest piqued?
Sometimes I'm like, oh, they shouldn't remake movies. That's one that I think they can remake. Because I don't think the original was that great. As a matter of fact.
It was all right.
What did we rate it?
I'm going to tell you right now. I gave it a 2.5. You guys gave it 3.
Yeah. I liked it. I'm not crazy about it. It's never one that's like, oh, I fucking love Candyman. It's just, but it has its moments.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember if I saw the sequels or not. I probably saw the second one. But I don't know. But I will say this. In the hands of Jordan Peele, who's producing it, I know he's not directing it, but as producer, he's got a lot of input. In his hands, I would say that it's probably in the best hands it could be in right now. The guy has made 2 of the best horror films in the past, mainstream horror films, I should say, in the past couple of years. And he should knock this one out of the park too.
Yeah, I still want to see, and it's on video now, is Color Out of Space, which, for those who are watching, was actually going to be my next pick for our next episode. And then with everything that's going on in the world, we kind of called an audible and changed it to 28 Days Later and Mayhem. But that movie's got me interested. It looks really cool. Looks like it's going to have some cool visuals.
Yeah. I haven't seen 28 Days Later since it was in the theaters.
I haven't seen 28 Days Later since it came out on video.
Yeah, same here. I saw it in the theater, and then I think I bought it and I watched it maybe once. So, I'm curious to see how it holds up. And you guys haven't seen Mayhem, have you?
I've seen parts of it.
Okay.
I have not.
That's when we met Samara Weaving.
Yeah.
when we didn't know who she was.
Yeah. Exactly.
Christy also says, or I don't know. I hope she doesn't mind us calling her by her name because she's under Ghoul Fool on this still. It's Christy.
She knows our name.
But she says yes, Nick Cage. Yeah, that one. What's it called? Color
Out of Space.
Color Out of Space. The poster reminded me a lot of Mandy.
Yeah, and it looks like if you watch the trailer, it's got like lots of cool colors and stuff. It just looks visually interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's based off a Lovecraft story, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Well, that's always a good sign.
So we'll do that one eventually. That'll probably be like in the next batch of episodes. 'Cause I do want to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be a good one. Yeah, and hopefully June happens. Christy said Christy is fine. So hopefully June happens.
Yeah.
General. But that's when Mad Monster is coming down here. So that's something besides horror movies that I'm looking forward to, because it was announced that Robert Englund's going to be back.
Yeah.
David and I don't know, Alan, did you spring for the VIP tickets for that one?
Fuck no.
Well, I know David and I did.
We did.
There's nobody I want to meet. I've either already met them, like,
I just don't want to wait in Robert Englund's long ass line. Like, I want cuts.
Yeah,
I want cutsies. I want firsties.
Yeah, exactly.
There's nothing else to get signed from him. I mean,
I got my.
I could go look for posters, but I have no more room on the wall. I had to take stuff off the wall. Like, I have no space.
Yeah, I got my translate for my pinball machine that I want to get signed.
That's something. Yeah, that's something you should get signed for sure.
I'm not getting that one personalized though.
Oh, you're not?
Yeah, in case you ever sell the game.
Yeah.
You don't think?
Pardon?
You don't think you're going to keep it?
I think there's a strong possibility that eventually I could part ways with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, VIP is the way to go, is what Christy said.
And I want to get that Trick or Treat Studios Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4 glove that I ordered back in like September. It keeps getting delayed. Wow. So now it's supposed to ship in June. So I hope it does, and I hope I get it before the show.
So speaking of Trick or Treat Studios, you guys know me. I'm the action figure guy of us. And they announced at Toy Fair in New York a couple of weeks ago that they were going to do these Halloween or Michael Myers action figures. And they're like 12-inch action figures, and it's going to be from Part 1, Part 4, Part 5, and 2018, I think. But the first one they're doing is Part 1, and they just released it for pre-order on their website. And I went to it today to look, $120.
Dang.
Well,
hold on, I gotta let my cat out of the room. Hold on.
Yeah. Dave.
Well, yeah.
Look at my sweet setup. Look at this.
Oh, hell yeah.
The pedals.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's a 76.
That's awesome, man. I just got this. I just got this in the mail yesterday. I haven't actually tried it out yet, though. But it's a Digitech Freakout, like a feedbacker pedal. That'll be fun.
I don't know what it is, but it looks rad.
Dude, I had I sold my bass like several years ago. I had a really nice Jaguar bass, and I found the exact same one on Reverb, and I've kind of been hemming and hawing over it, and I had it just kind of sitting there in my cart for like the past week. And then yesterday I was like, I'm going to buy that bass. And I logged in and it was sold. Somebody just bought it. And it had been sitting there for like a month. Like it had been like the listing was a month old.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't want to get carried away, but I would love an old like 80s Rickenbacker bass.
That'd be cool.
That would be so sweet. Yeah. Did you let the cat out?
I did. I let the cat out of the bag.
When you moved away, I saw you got like a cat thing behind you, like a little.
Well, because
I just wanted to hit that little ball. Yeah, that looks like a lot of fun.
It is. Sometimes I just sit here and play with it. No, because we've been having to work from home. Oh, hold on. Nobody can see what I was just doing. Uh, because we've been working from home, my wife and I. So her desk is right behind me, and my desk is right here, and the window is right here. And the cat likes to look out the window, so we had to get the cat something because we're in here all day working. So we had to get the cat something to do. And then I also have a pinball machine back there. That's the pinball machine. That's kind of the pinball machine I had growing up. So it's a version of it. It's not the same exact one. But anyway, I'm showing everybody on the screen right now who's watching this Trick or Treat Studios Michael Myers action figure. You guys won't be able to see this, but if you go to trickortreatstudios.com, it's the 1978 one. Like I said, it's pretty cool. Like, it looks cool. It's a 12-inch action figure, so it's like, I don't know, size of a Barbie doll.
Yeah.
So Trick or Treat made it?
Well, Trick or Treat is selling it, right? I don't know. Trick or Treat Studio, Compass International Pictures.
Okay.
Maybe
that sounds like the license. But is it like a NECA or is it?
No, it's Trick or Treat Studios. It's not affiliated with NECA at all.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like a GI Joe doll with a Michael Myers mask on it. But it's $120, guys.
That's a lot of scratch, man.
I can't judge. 4 or 5 of them. Okay, Alan, you're gonna have to repeat that.
There's like 4 or 5 of them. You said
they're going to do part 4. Which one's the Nick Cage looking one? Is that part 5 or 6?
I don't remember.
Well, they're gonna do part 4.
Part 6 is the one where his mask is like really, really clean. Is it that one?
I don't know. They're gonna do like 4 of them. They're gonna do part 1, the original. They're gonna do 2018, the latest one, and then they're gonna do. Hey, Christina. Christina, my wife, just joined.
She says, "Hey,
hey, girl."
Hey, girl.
But
Ricky, I want to be on the show.
Yeah. She's my Lucy. So anyway, but like I said, at $120 a pop, it's not justifiable, especially when NECA is making really good figures for a third or a fourth of the price. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it look good? It's okay.
I wish I could show you. You'd have to. You just look it up sometime.
Okay.
I can't.
If you could buy, which one would you buy?
Well, they only have shown the first one. They haven't shown the other ones yet.
Okay.
This is the only one that's for pre-order.
Hey, so you mentioned that you're working from home. Alan, are you working from home? Have you been banished, or do you still have to go to work every day?
We're still working.
Still working?
Because, well, I don't want to give too much information away, but we're a solar and electrical distributor, and my boss said that we're actually vital as far as like essential to stay open because one of our clients is the city of Tempe.
Okay.
So we're still open. We still have customers, and we service commercially. We're a distributor. So, we keep going because our customers keep going, like, our solar and electrical customers.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they shut down, then we're screwed. But, I mean, so far, so good. So
well, if they shut down, I think everybody's screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
then
I'm in the same boat. So I still go to work every day. We're considered a essential part of the country's infrastructure. So
yeah, you think?
Yeah, so still going.
It's a crazy time right now, and I just got to say, and there may be people listening to us right now and watching us right now. They're not as fortunate, and it's something that's been on my mind. It's people aren't working right now, and it's so sudden too.
And people,
again, not to reveal a whole lot about what I do, but I've been hearing a lot of just really tough things lately from people that just don't know what to do. And and you do what you can. You try to be there to be supportive and try to help, and that's why we're still going to work every day. And hopefully things turn around.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing too. And it's like Alan was saying, there's people out there whose job might not be essential. God damn this cat! He wants back in now.
This is my dog. This is Icky. Icky.
Oh, that's the infamous Icky. Oh, she looks so happy.
She looks so pissed.
But what I was saying was, there's her butthole. What I was saying is like people's job who's not considered essential, but it's essential for them. It's essential for their, well-being. People that work for tips or work hourly and they're not working at all, or their hours got cut extreme, and it's not. I don't know. I don't know. It's fucked.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It just shows. It shows how intertwined we are as a society. If someone's not making money, then someone else isn't making money, and someone else isn't making money. It's just like a chain reaction. And
that's what happens when we have leadership. That's what happens when we have quote unquote leadership who doesn't have a fucking plan and doesn't put a plan into place right away and doesn't instill any fucking confidence in anybody in the United States because he's a fucking reject.
You're a terrible podcaster, Brett. That's what I think.
Yeah, exactly. That fucking numbnut. Did you see that today, Alan?
What happened now?
Somebody asked him like, "Oh, little kitty."
This is Jack.
What would you say to the frightened American? He says like, "You're a lousy reporter."
Yeah.
It's so obnoxious. And I'll tell you this, we do have lousy leadership, but it blindsided everybody. I don't want to get too political, but it blindsided everybody, and it's bad enough that we have poor leadership as it is, but at the same time, there should have been something in place even for a poor leadership to follow, but nobody saw this coming. That's what's so crazy about it. And what bothers me is that not everybody's taking it seriously either, and that goes up all the way to society. There's people that aren't listening, and you have a country like Italy. Their death toll is in like the 6,000s. They've had 6,000 deaths, like over 6,000, and like you have these dimwits, especially the ones that voted for Trump. It's like, I'm not going to let any disease trample on my American freedoms. It's like, motherfucker, it's a disease. It doesn't care who you are. It's not political. It doesn't care. And like, if
this
you don't
guy
follow
gets it.
If you don't follow the guidelines, it's like, we're going to end up fucked like Italy, But this country's become so divided over, the last, I don't know how long. But it's kind of the point now where we're so divided, we won't listen to anybody and we just do what we want. And it's like, well, that doesn't help your neighbor or your family or your relatives or anything. Like, we're all going to get fucked.
Yeah. So for the future generations like this, sorry, you're screwed.
Hey, it was fun while it lasted.
Yep. She had a good 8 years. Alan, I couldn't agree with you more. And real quick, Mike just sent us a message on our comments. But before we get to that, the other night, David, you posted something on Twitter because David controls our Twitter account, and he sends us a message saying, "Do you mind if I post this? Because I don't want to post something if we're not all in agreement." And no, of course we don't mind. I'll speak for Alan on that. I mean, Alan just spoke just now, but it's like, yeah, we have numbnuts in leadership roles, not just the most powerful leadership role in the country, but all leadership roles. It seems like.
I'll give you an example. City of Scottsdale. I don't know what the fuck his name is. I can't even remember, the mayor or whatever. Everybody wants to call a state of emergency. Okay, what happens when you call a state of emergency? You get federal aid. Okay. But if you don't carry out your end of the bargain, call a state of emergency, you should take action. So this guy calls state of emergency, but they allow all the bars and restaurants to stay open. Because when you think about City of Scottsdale, that's their number one revenue, is like all the bars and the restaurants and the resorts and whatever, all that income of money. So he calls a state of emergency, but he doesn't do anything else. He just wants the fucking money.
Yeah.
So it's shit leadership like that, where all people care about is the fucking money, but they don't care about like your fucking life. So it blows my mind just how fucking stupid.
Well, those idiot senators who sold all those stocks once they found out about the fucking the pandemic and what effect it was going to have, and it's like you're fucking you're evil.
And you got people who are sick, who are getting sick, who were previously sick and getting worse, and they're not getting tests. And meanwhile, you have fucking celebrities and athletes and influencers and social elites and all kinds of pieces of garbage, and they get fucking tests because of the fucking this.
Yeah. Or you got these fucking idiot celebrities who are out there singing Imagine. Did you see that?
I did.
I've heard the song before. I don't need to hear it again.
I heard the song when it was good, sung by a very,
the song, I'll play the record.
But you got fucking Gal Gadot and all the fucking idiots that she's friends with, and they're all, just act, okay? And when you're not acting, just shut the fuck up for 5 minutes. Like, we don't need to know that you guys are doing your part to help everybody. Meanwhile, you guys got millions of dollars in the fucking bank, and there's people out there working their asses off.
And you know what?
They can't work.
This takes me back to 1995 when I was a kid. The Oklahoma City bombing. Billy Ray Cyrus went to the fucking site and he started singing music. He started singing songs. He's just selling himself. It's like, get the fuck out of here. Do something or go away. It's like, and it's even present day 2020. Like, celebrities are just like trying to sell themselves in a fucking disaster, in a fucking crisis.
Maybe the intention is good.
Maybe the intention is good, and you know what? And there are some good celebrities. They donate this, they donate that, they contribute, and that sort of thing. Well, you know what? It's
like telling somebody. It's like telling somebody my I'm saying prayers for you. It's like that doesn't fucking do anything. Sorry.
I'd much rather have money.
Yeah, fuck your prayers. All right, back to
toilet paper. Give me
fucking paper towels.
Something. Shitting in the shower.
On that.
I'm not shitting in the shower. I'm good. I got toilet paper.
We're all gonna become bathtub shitters.
I started shitting in my cat's litter box. My wife thinks it's that.
When Brett was still in Europe, I texted him. I was like, "Hey, you got toilet paper in your hotel room?" And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "You should steal that shit and take it home with you because the world's gone mad and you can't get toilet paper anywhere." So to Brett and your asshole and the asshole of all of your loved ones, you're welcome.
Thanks. Speaking of, I have a shit story about France, but before we get to that one, Mike had a question.
Yeah.
Mike had a question. He said, "Anybody check out Castlevania on Netflix? Also, what's the best Castlevania game?" Okay, so I will kind of go first because I have the shortest answer. No, I haven't seen Castlevania on Netflix yet. However, my son is getting really into anime. And I think that's something that I could watch with him. And he's been kind of saying that he wants to start watching it if he hasn't already. And as far as best Castlevania game, I haven't played enough of Castlevania to even have a best one. So that's my answer. David?
Yes, I have seen the Netflix series. Mike, feel free to comment. I don't. What's that?
Is it live action?
No, it's anime.
It's anime. Okay.
Yeah, and I think there's 2 seasons. I've only seen the first season. I really, really liked it, and I do not like I've never get into it. It just is not my thing. But I really did enjoy the Castlevania series, so I thought it was cool. I should check out season 2 now that I probably have a lot more time on my hands. And then favorite Castlevania game. I'm a big fan of the original NES, Castlevania 1. I'm also a big fan of Castlevania 3. I think Mike's favorite one is Castlevania 2. But 1 and 3, but 1.
Is Castlevania 2... Hold on one second. Is Castlevania 2 the one where it's got, like, all those hidden things that, like, if you didn't know that how to get to it, you wouldn't even know how to do it?
Like, yeah, exactly.
They all have hidden things.
No, but Castlevania 2, if you didn't have, like, a book or a guide to get you through it, you
wouldn't be able to defeat it.
No.
You would just do it by accident, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I haven't seen the show, obviously. That's why I asked if it was live action or not, but it's anime, so I would check it out. And favorite game? I think the first one I ever played was Castlevania 2. I really like Castlevania 2. Like, it's just fun to play with friends and, like, try to figure out what you're doing. Castlevania 1 is a classic, but I really like Castlevania 3. Castlevania 4 for Super Nintendo is really good. And then, like, it seems like everybody's favorite is Symphony of the Night for PlayStation 1. That's a really good Castlevania game.
That's good, yeah.
I played through it and I beat it. It has a really good replay value, I think. But a personal favorite of mine is also Castlevania Chronicles, which is kind of like a remix of the first Castlevania. Do you remember that, Dave?
I think I've played that. I think I have it on, like, an emulator, or I'm pretty sure I've played that one. I think I remember it being pretty cool.
Like, they gave Simon Belmont red hair, and, like, they remixed the music and stuff. It's really good, especially if you're high. Like, it's just no, because the music, they took the music from the original entry in the series and they remixed it, and it's fucking phenomenal.
Awesome.
So Castlevania Chronicles is, like, probably my personal favorite, but there's a lot of great Castlevania games.
Speaking of music, the music in the Castlevania series is awesome. For anybody watching, there's a local band from Phoenix called the Mini Bosses. They do, like, hard rock, like, and, like, metal, like, covers of video game music, and they've got a badass Castlevania cover that is awesome. So if you're watching Mini Bosses Castlevania, you're welcome. Super.
And and Simon's Quest may not be, like, the best Castlevania game, but it has a lot of memorable stuff, like What a Terrible Night for a Curse.
Yeah.
And it has some really classic songs.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right. We got another question from Will. He says, Blood-Sucking Freaks, classic or trash? I've never seen it.
I've never seen it.
Will?
I've never seen it.
We're so sorry. Maybe a future episode. What do you what do you think, man? Like,
yeah,
I'd like to hear his thoughts.
Yeah, I'm going to look it up right now.
I've seen Eight-Legged Freaks.
Yeah, I don't think that counts.
Dude, do we ever do Eight-Legged Freaks?
No.
No?
Didn't we talk about that? We did, like, an arachnophobia episode, didn't we?
Yeah. I don't know if we ever talked about it in the episode, but Eight-Legged Freaks was filmed in Arizona, and there was a mall. It was called Valley West Mall in Phoenix, and they, like, blew it up, or a part of it in the movie. And I remember driving past it when they were filming the movie. I didn't know what they were doing. I was like, what are all these cameras doing at the mall? But yeah, they were filming that movie.
All right, so Eight-Legged Freaks. Blood-Sucking Freaks is a 1976 exploitation splatter film. Maybe it's something we should do.
That's something that would have come on the grounds.
He said he's disappointed with all of us.
Sorry, Will. TV
I watch these all the time. I got a full-time job for now.
Yeah, for now. TV Guide gave it a 0 out of 4 stars. Oh.
Yay!
But you know what? That doesn't mean shit, because sometimes the shit movies are really good. Sometimes.
That is true. I gotta. How do I do this? Oh, I know. Oh, Alan's by himself now.
I'm always by myself.
Hi, Alan.
Take him away.
You never see me because I'm always alone.
There we go. I had to have it. I had to have it the way that we introduce ourselves at the beginning because I'm anal. I'm Brett. I'm David. I'm Alan. That's the order we are on the screen right now. So that's the way. Okay, never mind. All right. So here's another good question from Mike. He said, "What's one of the first memories of watching something that terrified you?" Large Marge for him.
Oh man, Large Marge.
And
Yes.
And Will said that blood-sucking freaks is okay. So he asked the question that he's like, it's okay. First memories of watching something that terrified me. Huh.
I'll go first.
Okay.
The earliest thing, I was probably 3 or 4. Another one just popped in my head. I was probably 3 years old. The first Terminator movie. I was hiding behind the couch and I was watching it.
Yeah, I shared that story with us before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another one though is the librarian at the beginning of Ghostbusters.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
I was probably like 4 or 5, maybe 4 years old, and like, you know, I wasn't like scared, like crying scared, but it was like a jump, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What about you, David?
Ghostbusters. That is a good one. I think that did scare me when I was a kid. The librarian. I'm Peter.
Doesn't he? That's where Ray's like, I got a plan. It's like, get her.
That was your whole plan. Get her.
Hey, Derek.
Maybe the original Alien. I remember creeping me out, and I remember going to bed that night and like just having a really hard time falling asleep. I think I mentioned on the podcast before, Poltergeist and The Thing both kind of creeped me out because I was pretty young when I saw those. The Exorcist also fucked me up. Like the first time I saw The Exorcist, I was like, oh, give me the willies.
Yeah. I think the earliest one for me would have to be Poltergeist. Specifically the scene, there's 2 scenes that I remember like really getting me when I was a child, at least. Nowadays, my review says enough, but nowadays it doesn't scare me. But when I was a kid, when the kid gets eaten by the tree,
yeah,
that scared the shit out of me. And when the guy rips the skin off of his face, and the meat is like crawling across the counter.
Oh yeah,
that got me.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, so there was something else I was going to talk about. Oh, I was going to tell you, anybody want a shit story?
Always.
I'm going to grab it too.
Okay.
He's taking the shit.
Yeah. So, you know, when I travel, I don't know about you, but when I travel, it's like my whole digestive system.
Oh, yeah, no, I can't poop until I'm at least a few days in. I got to acclimate.
It's either you can't poop or you just do nothing but poop. And this one was I can't poop until I could. And then,
that was just endless.
Yeah. It's like,
is it just the magician's handkerchief? Just
no, but it was the toilet in France was sorry, Will, you're gonna hear it anyway. The toilet in France didn't have a good flushing mechanism. Like the bowl was like really deep.
Yeah.
But the amount of water was like...
Oh, man. So you're totally beaching it with your turds.
So it's like you would release, and then there'd be like a it'd take forever just to get to the water. But yeah, and then when it flushed, there wasn't a lot of pressure. So I did my business. I flushed. I cleaned up. Of course, it was like one of those where you just keep wiping and wiping.
Oh, it was the worst. It's like, my God.
It's like, and then by that point, I mean, the toilet had already been clogged, and I was like, oh shit, there's nothing I can do. And then I'm like, well, maybe it'll be just one of those things like the longer it settles, the water will just start disintegrating, whatever it is in there, and then it'll just suck down naturally. So I let it sit, and I went back. Oh, I was like, I can't wipe enough, and I don't want to keep clogging. I don't want to keep clogging. So in the middle of the night, I took a shower, and and I was getting prepared to come back to to America. So I was like, well, fuck it. If I don't have any toilet paper, I'll clean myself off in the shower. So clean myself off. I go back in bed. My wife's like, is everything okay? And I'm like, well, you probably don't want to go to the bathroom. And she's like, well, what do I do if I gotta pee? And I was like, get yourself in the shower, turn it on, and go pee in the shower. So anyway, come the morning, the bowl was empty. And so I was like, okay, I'll flush again. That water rose and rose and rose. So I was like, fuck it. So we went out. We went out for our day, and I didn't say anything to the front desk yet because I was like, I'll wait till I get back, and I'll ask them for a plunger, and then I'll just take care of it. We get back, and I said, oh, by the way, we had a problem with our toilet. And she goes, yeah, hold on one second. And she calls, and she's speaking in French, and she's all, and they're like, yeah, your room's okay now. And I'm like, okay. And I go up there, and the toilet's fine. Well, we're not in the hotel room for 5 minutes. There's a knock on the door, and it's this guy. He's like, Monsieur.
Monsieur Brett. We took care of your sheet.
He goes,
we snaked the sheet.
Pretty much that's what he said. He goes, Monsieur, do not use so much paper next time.
You fucking Americans.
I said,
shortage, for Christ's sake, Brett.
I said, okay. And I said, bye-bye, au revoir. And then he left. So that's my shit story. But my wife will back me up. That toilet was not built for anybody's shit, let alone mine. And
I peed my pants in Italy once.
What?
Well, I said when I was in Italy with my first wife on our honeymoon, I had a dream that I was peeing.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so I woke up like, oh, God. Yeah, so I had to throw my pajama pants away. They're in a landfill somewhere that was Florence. It's not as Rome. So.
Oh, Lord.
We Americans, we just go over there to Europe and just defecate and pee all over
wherever we want to.
We're the worst.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, so that's my shit story. I got another one that isn't mine. It's my sister.
I got another.
My sister took a shit in Hawaii on her honeymoon, and it was so bad that the guy came up to take care of it, and he couldn't get it unclogged, and so it was so bad that they had to take this toilet off, and they had to switch them rooms. Like, my sister clogged that fucking toilet.
Oh,
dude, my first marriage, we got married in Vegas, and one of my buddies came up to our honeymoon suite and took a dump, and it smelled so bad that, like, that night, like, after the wedding, like, going upstairs, like, carry over the threshold, like, the room just reeked of shit. No wonder that marriage didn't work out.
Yeah, started I was gonna say
nasty shit in our hotel room, and then I peed on our honeymoon, and so there you go. That's the practice marriage. The starter one.
Yeah, that's the starter. Oh, that's too funny. So, yeah, this is the podcast where we talk about all things poop. So, hey, people are watching. I don't know how many people are watching right now, but just want to thank you guys for watching, and hopefully,
After the poop, we lost the
Everybody tuned like, no,
yeah,
we're done. They're like,
yeah, exactly. Richard Milhouse Nixon. Will says Richard Milhouse Nixon. That's an inside joke between Will and myself. He'd have to tell the story because it's a lot funnier. But anyway, any other things that you guys are looking forward to horror wise coming up?
I just hope the convention stuff gets going again. We had plans. I told
Texas
you guys last
Frightmare.
night. What's that?
Texas Frightmare. That's probably going to get canceled.
Yeah, I know, and I already I have a hotel and I booked my flight, so that's supposed to be May 1st. I don't think it's going to happen, but we'll see.
Yeah, Texas Frightmare. My wife and my sister-in-law were going to go. I was going to bow out of that one. They were going to go independently of David, but they were going to go because my wife really wants to meet Henry Thomas. Because I met him, and I got him to sign an autograph for her, and she was like really disappointed that she didn't get to meet him. So she wanted to go out there to meet him. But also Cronenberg was going to be there.
That would have been really cool to meet David Cronenberg, because I don't think he does a lot of these things either. Like
it said that it was like advertised as this was his first American convention, I believe.
Yeah, that would have been really cool. I hope we do get to meet him someday.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah,
I just hope those going.
I get a video poster sign.
Yeah. Well, so like last night, I was texting you guys. I usually edit like on Thursdays or Fridays, so I started editing the episode that's going to come out in a couple of days. And I told the guys, I was like, I got to completely change the beginning of it because we record things, a few episodes at a time. We talked about Days of the Dead kind of in the past tense, the plan was that we were going to have like audio from attending the show, and we were going to splice all that in, and none of that worked. So I basically had to like put in kind of a disclaimer at the beginning of like, this is going to sound a little choppy. I've got to kind of adjust because none of this happened.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of stuff I just straight up cut, and then the rest I just kind of voice over, and I was like, yeah, that didn't happen. Yeah, that didn't happen.
When we recorded that episode, I had a funny feeling like, what if it doesn't happen? What if something happens? Like, I just had a funny feeling.
I didn't think
when we originally recorded.
Yeah, I didn't have any idea that shit would get this bad.
Yeah, and this quickly. Like that was.
Because that was only 3 weeks ago.
I know.
We didn't
and how
trippy enough. This shit been around for months.
When I tweeted this yesterday, but how trippy is it that from the day we recorded that episode to when we're going to record our next episode will be exactly 28 days later?
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, that is interesting. Oh, that's what we can talk about this. Alan, you don't watch Walking Dead, but you know what it's about.
I'm familiar with it, yeah.
And you're probably not going to watch it, so we're not going to spoil anything for you. So, it's been on for like 10 seasons already, and you haven't watched it yet. So,
I've said it before. I've said it on the podcast. I said it to you guys. Like, I'm a movie guy, but with TV, like I can't keep up. It always loses my interest. I can watch something that's like, oh, this is a great show, and I'll watch a few episodes, and then it's like I don't care anymore. Like with Stranger Things, I watched the first episode, like, oh, this is pretty good, and then like I watched the second episode, and I was like, I don't care anymore. I don't know. It's just a weird thing about me, I guess.
No,
and these are great shows. I just I don't know. I'm not good with routines.
No, I get it. It is hard to invest into a show. Like I really like the show Fargo. If you've ever seen that on FX, it's really good. And the third season came out, and Ewan McGregor's in it, and he plays two characters, and he's really good. And I remember when it first aired, it was hold on one second, Will. We'll get to that question, but when it first aired, I was like, "Wow, this is really good," and then I just never watched it again because it's like you got to invest a lot of time. With a movie, it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours, you're done. With a TV show, it's like an hour this week or an hour next week, and then it's like, when's the payoff going to happen?
Yeah.
But
that's kind of how The Walking Dead has been this season, and then we just got the payoff last week.
Fucking loved it. I loved it.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
Now I haven't read the comic books, but I knew what happened because I think a long time ago I looked it up. When Negan first appeared, I looked up to see like, okay, what's going on with this Negan guy, and I read like a Wikipedia article on him, and it explained what happened with him in Alpha. So I knew what was going to happen, but when it happened, I didn't know when it was going to happen in the show. And also, Walking Dead, the TV show, has taken some liberties. Like their main character pretty much is Daryl, and Daryl's not even a character in the comic book.
Yeah, he doesn't exist in the.
And Carl, I think, is still alive in the comic book, and they killed him off on the TV show.
Yeah, Carl lives through the whole series because the comic book's done.
Yeah.
Carl never dies.
So maybe Judith is taking his like kind of some of his role.
Yeah.
Now
because Judith dies in the comic book.
Judith does.
If I remember correctly, yes. I think she dies as a baby.
Well, they're not going to do that. But anyway, yeah, so spoiler alert. I'm going to put a spoiler alert out there for anybody who didn't watch this last season. Yeah, Christy. Excited about the little twist at the end. Now, I don't know what happened in the comic book, but at the end of the TV show this last week, Negan was working with Alpha, who's the head of this group, Alan, who's like
Whisperers.
The bad guys. Yeah, they're called the Whisperers. And Negan joins her, and Negan was the bad guy way before, like the ultimate bad guy. And he had escaped, and he joined them. But he kind of was a good guy, and you kind of knew that he was a good guy. Like, he wasn't joining them to, like, join with them. He was joining them to, like, infiltrate.
He wasn't really, like, a bad guy after all.
Well,
right?
His character is so interesting. Like, he's my favorite character in the comic book. He's my favorite character on the show because he's done awful things, but he's also one of those like, do the ends justify the means kind of guys. And in his eyes, he was protecting and doing what he thought was right. But then later, like through the course of the series, like there's contrition, and he like has regrets, and he wishes he could have done things differently. And he kind of starts to at least act like a good guy, but nobody really trusts him.
Yeah. So
when he gets out, goes to the Whisperers, like you're kind of like, all right, is he gonna try to redeem himself, or is he like just being a coward and he's gonna go, with these guys now?
Yeah,
that's something that's been such a factor with this show. And I don't watch the show, but I pick up on it where morality is such a huge factor with these characters.
Yeah, and it comes to be like the show is less about zombies and it's more about human relations, which okay, let's start going down the road that we first started with as far as like what's happened recently, like with everybody going to the grocery store and just buying bulk of everything from medicine to toilet paper to fucking, whatever. It's like nobody cares about anybody else, and it's like survival of the fittest, and I'll take this baseball bat and I'll beat you upside the legs just so I can get the last fucking chicken. And that, this is on a way smaller scale what's happening in real life, but if you look at what The Walking Dead is about, The Walking Dead is about that. It's about how do we treat one another. Are we going to pair up? Or the three of us are going to be buddies, or are we going to be at each other's throats because it's like it's either you or me, and I don't care about us. I care about myself, and that's kind of where The Walking Dead is like. We are the Walking Dead. We are the ones who are the fucking zombies, and we are the ones who are the shitheads. The zombies are such a side note on the show anymore, and they have been for the past few seasons. Yeah. But anyway, so Negan...
Yeah, go ahead.
So Negan infiltrates, or he gets on Alpha's good side, and he proves to be a very good soldier. He gives her good information. He points her in the right direction, all this other kind of stuff. And he, in the show, it almost seems like he gives her an out, too. He like gives her an out at the end. He's like, what are you going to do? And she says she's going to kill her daughter. And he's like, I found your daughter.
Her daughter ended up joining up with like the good guys on the show. So yeah, so she wants kind of revenge to take her daughter out.
And Negan captures the daughter. And he tells Alpha, he's like, I got your daughter. Now what are you going to do? And she says, I'm going to kill her. And he gives her a chance. He's like, but she's your daughter. Don't you think you should? You're like, whatever. And he gives her this big, long speech. And she's like, she gives him a big, long speech. And she's like, it's her birthright. And she needs to die and everything. And he's like, all right. And she opens the door and the daughter's not there. And then Negan just slices her throat, chops off her head, brings it back, and dumps it at the foot of Carol, which I didn't see that one coming. Did that happen in the comic book?
No, because Carol was already dead in the comic book by this point.
Okay, so Carol
in the comic book, I believe he gives the head to Rick, if I remember correctly.
Okay,
I'll have to go back and read. It's been a while.
So he basically, like, Carol knew all along that Negan was out there with this plan. Okay. And she says, when he dumps the head off, she says, it took you long enough. And then the episode ended, and it's like, fuck yeah! I was so happy. You know what? It was one of those characters that I just fucking hated.
Oh yeah.
And the actress did a good job.
I can't believe like that's the same woman from Minority Report that plays Agatha, the precog.
Oh, it's been so long since I've seen Minority Report, I don't remember.
Good movie, but yeah, it's Agatha. But yeah, when she dropped the head, I was like, I was so happy. I knew it was coming, but like when he slit her throat, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. And Christy says the last two seasons have been so good. And I do agree. I think the last two seasons have picked back up. I think there was a time period where it was like the same shit was happening over and over again.
Yeah.
And enough is enough. It's like we need some new storylines instead of there just always being a bad guy that they gotta infiltrate. Mm-hmm. Or they gotta, defeat or whatever it is.
Brett, you said Will had a question. What was this?
Yeah, I was just going to get to that. Actually, I was looking up Minority Report really quick to see who this lady is. But Will's question, he asked what our thoughts on the Stand 1994 miniseries was, and that is kind of a fitting topic for right now. Did you see the Stephen King Twitter comment where someone was like, somebody made a comment about the Stand and Stephen King did, and somebody commented on Stephen King's like, how would you know? And Stephen King's like, it's not like I wrote the book. I don't know if it was real or not, but wow,
I love stuff like that when somebody just totally owns somebody. Like, maybe check the credits.
Yeah. That chick from The Walking Dead, Alpha, she's my age. She looks so much older than me. I have a young face, though.
You've aged so well, Brett.
I have. Except for the gray hairs. Yeah, so the Stand,
where I meet people and it's like I feel like they look so much older than me and they turn out to be like my same age. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's the great thing about Facebook, because you can look up all the people that you went to high school with, and then you're like, they're old.
You're old and fat. No, that's not very nice.
The Stand 1994 miniseries, you know what? Will's going to be disappointed in me again. I never watched the Stand miniseries.
Yeah, I did. But I mean, like in '94 when it came out, I have not seen it since. So I really don't remember. But I remember I liked it. But I'd have to watch it again, but yeah, I remember enjoying it and watching it, over the course of a week or something like that. Because they had I think they had like a new chapter every day.
That was a long one.
Yeah, it was. Alan, you seen it?
No, I haven't. Will, your shit is so obscure even by my standards.
It was like on national television.
From 94? Like, I don't know.
Ellen was 3 years old in 1994, so.
I was in the 4th grade, so I wasn't watching The Stand. I was watching Animaniacs. That's what I was watching in 1994.
I was watching Animaniacs in 1994. I was a senior in high school.
Is that how you learn geography? Like the one with Wacko?
United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru.
You watch Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Would you get so pissed when they had to like get the map and they would fuck it up? And it's like, you knew you were going to be on the show. You should memorize every single continent's map. Like, this should be very easy.
Yeah.
I get so mad at be like, that's not where Uruguay is.
The show that pissed me off the most was Double Dare. Did you ever watch that show?
Yeah.
Because first of all,
Double Dare.
The trivia questions were always the easiest.
They changed it to Family Double Dare. Yeah,
but the trivia questions were always so easy. The trivia questions were always like, "What is your middle name?" And they were like, "Ah." they didn't know, and then they would like have to do the physical challenge, and then they would suck at the physical challenge.
Well, you know why they changed it to Family Double Dare is to get the parents on there, and when they would ask the trivia questions, the parents always knew the answer.
Yeah. Will says he's sorry.
It's all right, Will. We appreciate the participation.
Will, have you ever seen Robo War? It's awesome.
Greasy.
Yeah, I'm curious about that. I wonder how many people that listen to our podcast and that haven't watched these movies go back and watch the movies after we've reviewed them, regardless of what we give them. So, like, we'll take Robo War, for example. Robo War was one that we were quite divided on. But I wonder if people were like, you know what, I'm going to watch it just to see what I think of it. So that's an interesting thing. I know there's a guy. David, do you know the guy? He's always commenting on our website.
Oh, on the website? John, I can't remember his last name.
Levin?
Yeah.
Levin Good?
Yes, something like that.
Do you know him?
He's got a podcast too, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I don't know him like in the real world, just through the internets.
Because sometimes he'll be like, I haven't seen this movie in forever, but you guys are talking about it, so I'm going to go watch it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That's just something that would interest me if... And sometimes I wonder if maybe we should say, hey, we're going to watch X, Y, and Z.
I'll be honest, that's one of the reasons why I always post like what our next episode is going to be. I usually post that like on Thursdays, at least on Twitter, just so if that's the way you like to do it, it gives you a few days to... Or however long you want. I mean, you don't have to watch it the day our episode, like, but it gives you a little bit of a lead of like, hey, if you want to check these out, go for it. Because I know, like, when I listen to other podcasts, like if they're talking about a movie that I haven't seen, I won't listen because I don't want it spoiled. So, and I'm sure there's plenty of people that are like that. Like, I want to know what you're talking about, so I can be like, yes, I agree, or I don't agree.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, like, with the episodes that we have that are more listened to than others, do they tend to be ones that, like, are movies that people have definitely seen versus, like...
Usually.
And we usually don't talk about movies that are in the theaters. No, Robo War, not Robot War and not Robot Jocks. Robo War. Robo War. We don't generally talk... The only movie that we talked about that was in the theater when we kind of reviewed it was Halloween 2018. And we never said anything about it, like what the plot was.
Was us in the...
No, we also talked about 3 from Hell.
Yeah, and Hellfest we saw at the theater and talked about while it was still out.
That's true. Well,
yeah, for the most part.
Technically, I didn't. I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it at home, but might have gotten it through some shady means.
Goodness gracious. With that, I get to Phil. I'll be back.
Oh, okay.
Talk about yourselves.
No worries.
I'll be back too.
Oh, wow. What did I do there? Oh, they're both gone. Okay. Let's see. Christy says, I will put this on the screen right now. I try to watch movies you're going to talk about before I listen to the podcast if I haven't seen them. If I can find them to watch, that is. Yeah, that can be somewhat difficult. Sometimes these numbnuts will pick movies that no streaming service ever in their right mind would ever carry. And so I have to try to find them. Usually I have to end up renting them. So I've rented out quite a bit of movies. Usually, I'll try to just watch movies on Netflix, Shudder, Amazon Prime, or other streaming services that I already subscribe to. But who's RoboWar? No one's gonna.
Still talking about RoboWar?
Well, no one's going to. No one's going to. Stream or no carrier is going to carry RoboWar. So Christy said she tries to watch them if she can find them. And I said,
I think that one was on YouTube. Did we have to pay to watch that? I can't remember.
That's what I was just getting at. Was like I have to end up renting movies a lot more often than not with the movies that you guys pick sometimes.
Yeah,
because no streaming service carries them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So sometimes I'll pick movies just randomly, and I won't even look to see if they're on any of the streaming services. But then other times I'll be like, oh, let me look and see if it's on a streaming service first, and then I'll pick it, just so I know if we have it available to us. Oh, man. So what else do we want to talk about, guys?
I was thinking Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just had a dumb thought the other day about I'm not gonna name other podcasts, but there's a podcast that I actually enjoy, so I don't know why I wouldn't say them. But go ahead. Nightmare on Film Street. I don't know if you guys ever listened to them, but they recently got picked up, I think, by Fangoria, as part of their podcast network. I haven't tuned in since they made that move, but I was just curious, if we ever got the ability to be sponsored or have a deal. I got thinking about Wayne's World, and I was like, what if we had we went totally corporate and it's Swearwolves.
I don't think that would happen.
No, we will never get anything like that.
Regardless of if we were good enough and popular enough to get picked up, I mean, yes, we would sell out, but to what extent? I wouldn't change my point of view.
And I don't think Nightmare on Film Street has changed anything. I'm sure they're still
and how corporate can it be? It's Fangoria. It's not like it's fucking CNN. It's Fangoria. It's a very niche audience, a very loyal and a very dedicated and proud audience, but it's a very narrow field that we cater towards. So if you can get 1,000 people or a few thousand people to listen to it, then it's successful. Because horror, although it's popular, it's not something there's a lot of people that I talk to, they're like, oh, I don't watch horror movies, they scare me too much. I'm like, what are you, a child?
Yeah, exactly. It's what's scary? The world.
Yeah, no shit. Christy has another question. She says, I think you guys should review... Well, it's not a question, it's a statement, sorry. She's telling us what to do. I think you guys should review more classics like The Uninvited.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, I'm looking up into what the uninvited is. Like we're showing our fucking ignorance.
That's that Alanis Morissette song.
Yeah, I thought it was. The uninvited. Well, the only one that's coming up is from 2009. I'm sure that's not it. Oh, the uninvited, 1944.
Ah.
The ghost story. Yeah, you know something, Christy. That's a good point, and I've been meaning to go back. Like we did Frankenstein and we did Wolfman. I want to do more of the Universal series. I want to do.
We have like a list of like episode ideas, and we've got tons of old ones that are in there. And for whatever reason, like we always end up going in a direction, but like we got a bunch that are in there. Like I've been kicking around House of Wax and House on Haunted Hill like forever. Like I feel like that's always like in my top 3 every time we pick an episode, and then I end up choosing something else.
I'll tell you what. What was the film that Will was asking about earlier?
Blood-sucking freaks.
Okay, Blood-sucking freaks, and then Christie's asked about the uninvited.
Yeah.
Okay, those are my next 2 picks.
Okay, well we record next weekend, so okay.
I haven't watched anything yet.
No, I'm talking about my following.
Oh, okay, so they'll be out in a few weeks then.
Yeah, I already have my picks established for this week.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm talking about the following, just for the record: Blood-sucking freaks and the uninvited. Those will be mine.
Okay. David, can you write that down?
Yes.
Okay, because Alan might forget, and so will I.
Chrissy, I'm sure they'll remind us.
Okay, so there we go. You ask, we give. The Swearwolves were givers.
Mm-hmm.
We're givers.
But we're also takers, so
yeah.
Don't get any ideas.
We could. We're gonna start. We're gonna start our Patreon. You pick the movies for,
and then we take it.
Yeah, you pick the movies for $5 a month. You pick the movies. No, that's a good idea. But yeah, no. To go back to what you were saying about classics is like, I want to get back to more of the Universal ones. I want to do The Mummy. Did we do Creech?
No.
Want to do Creech? Yeah, there's a lot of ideas that I have. There's another one, also more body horror, so that Brett can make up more gross words.
Stomach vagina.
Oh yeah, okay, good. What did I ended up saying something like snatch?
The belly cooch.
Belly cooch.
Stomach snatch.
Yeah. Gotta let the cat out. Oh, I can show you.
No, I agree though. More black and white, more classics. That would be fun. Yeah. I don't know if
there's a lot of like
got the creature from the Black Lagoon right here. You got the Wolfman. Got the whole gang. The Bride.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the classics. I'm all for talking about them. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
This arm right here. This is all. These are all Japanese horror movies from the 50s.
Well, this arm, not done. But this is Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, Brett and I both got Frankenstein on the
shoulder.
Yeah.
That's Freddy. And that's Leatherface.
It's pronounced Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Frankenstein. I got that beat. This one.
This one right here.
She broke my heart.
Show me the way to go home. I'm tired and I want to go to bed. By the way, Alan, Will said that you're his new favorite Swearwolf.
Nice. Why? What happened?
Because you picked his movie.
I've never been anyone's favorite of anything. So.
No, but I wanted to show you guys this.
Oh shit! Hey,
wow!
Is this poor etiquette? May I ask how much you paid for it? Because I saw one at Zia Records the other day. It was $75.
I got it as a Christmas gift, but I think $75 is a good price.
Okay, cool. I saw it and I was like, oh, that's really cool. I kind of want it.
Hey, is that an actual TV accessory, or is it just an image, or what is that?
It's a TV accessory.
Wow, that's really cool.
So here's the back of it.
Yeah.
So I got to do my review on it.
That's cool.
Is that made by Inca?
Yep.
That's really cool. I love the logo right there, and then I wouldn't even open it, to be honest with you.
Well,
it looks really cool.
So here's the thing. NECA's coming out with a Roddy Piper from They Live this year. And how cool would it be to have a diorama or a scene set up with Roddy Piper and the sunglasses and these two? Yeah, standing right there.
They need a Keith David.
Well,
hell yeah.
Yes, I agree. I would like them to do. I think
a great 2-pack.
It would. I would like them to do more of this type of stuff. Like they don't have the Friday the 13th license because of all the legal trouble. Mm-hmm. So it's like, go for the licenses that you know you can get that are cheap. Like, They Live probably is a cheap license, right? I know it's a John Carpenter film, but it's a cheap license.
Still obscure at the end of the day. Most people have never heard of it.
And if they have, I mean, it's like, meh. You know, I love They Live. For the longest time, it was my favorite Carpenter movie. It's still up there, but The Thing has really taken over. Like The Thing does.
It's in its nature.
I would say top 3 for sure. Top 3.
It's my top 3 because it's got to be The Thing, Halloween, and They Live.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like Big Trouble in Little China also, so it'd be tough.
Oh, that is tough. You know what? It's got to be, for me, top 3 got to be The Thing, Escape from New York.
Yeah.
And then like They Live.
I almost put my Escape from New York shirt for our little broadcast, but instead I'm wearing Ghostbusters. It's my gatekeeper.
Oh, and there's also Ghosts of Mars.
You know, I watched that movie. I own that movie. It's bad, but it's not like horrible.
What about Memoirs of the Invisible Man?
No, it's weird. I've never seen it, but it has lived on my DVR for like 3 years. Like, one of these nights, I'm gonna get to it.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
I remember really wanting to see that movie when it came out in the theaters, and I didn't know anything really about John Carpenter when it came out.
It was more about Chevy Chase.
Yeah, Chevy Chase and like just an invisible guy. Like, that sounds neat.
Yeah,
naked the whole movie.
Yeah, just with his dong out,
dick hanging out.
It's like, you can't see this.
Mm-hmm.
That was like at that time.
Clark Griswold.
That was at that time period though, where John Carpenter was like almost mainstream. It was like they were edging. They were like, oh, John Carpenter, he does these really good movies. Like when The Thing came out, The Thing was supposed to be a big blockbuster, but then E.T. came out the same weekend, right? And E.T. just totally demolished it in the box office.
Well, everyone was high on E.T. because it was like, oh, it's so like family friendly, and you know that's what kind of the nation was focused on. It's like, oh, everybody loved E.T. You know, nobody really wanted to watch The Thing, or nobody had any interest because, you know, The Thing was just the opposite end of the spectrum.
But I think, like, don't you think, like, if E.T. wouldn't have come out that same weekend, The Thing would have been more popular in the box office?
So, totally different.
It's hard to.
You're not going to take a kid to see The Thing.
Yeah, it's two different audiences for sure.
Well, but anyway, so they always towed the line with John Carpenter. It was like, so he come out with Halloween, which was a very independent film. It was so successful, so then they're like, we're going to let you make another film. Or they wanted him to make Halloween 2 and, you know, all that other kind of shit. But anyway, so The Thing comes out and it kind of bombs. And then they, like, told the line again in, like, Starman. Do you remember that movie with Jeff Bridges?
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Carpenter film. And that was kind of like oh, is it a mainstream film? Well, kind of. Okay. And then it's like, well, that doesn't do so well. And it kind of goes back. And then it had this up and down like relationship with Hollywood.
Starman's the only other Carpenter movie besides The Thing that wasn't scored by Carpenter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I need to watch that again. I remember when I was a kid, my stepdad watched it. He loved it. Like, we had HBO for free, and that was like one of the movies like he recorded on beta. And like he would watch it over and over again because he really liked that. That movie takes place in Wisconsin, and then they travel to Arizona.
Yeah. Oh my God. Just like you.
I'm the fucking Starman.
And something else that's interesting. A friend of ours, Chris, he saw Alien in theaters, and he also saw The Thing in theaters on their original releases.
That dude's old.
He said both times the theaters were empty.
That sucks.
For Alien and The Thing, he said when he saw it, the theaters were empty.
By the way, 2 movies that I've given 5s to.
Yeah, me too. I think. Yeah, I think I gave 5 to both.
I gave Alien a 4.5. And I could give it a 5, but at the time I gave it a 4.5.
Yeah, because I gave it a 5, you gave it a 4.5 because you're an asshole.
The Thing is still our only universal 5.
No, fuck off. I gave it a 4.5 because of the fucking chamber with the chains and the water. Like, where the fuck is the water coming from? Like, it just bothered me, But no, Alien's a great film. Honestly, I can give it an unofficial 5 right now. So,
yeah, it's our only one that we've given a 5 across the board because we've agreed on other things.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if
like
I could choose
Cannibal Holocaust, we all gave 1 to.
Alien, The Thing, I choose The Thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're both great. They're both fucking phenomenal. But
I think I would choose The Thing over Alien also, but it's a close matchup. I mean, like, talk about a good double feature.
Yeah.
It'd be a great double. But I'll tell you what puts The Thing over Alien is it has the mystery element of, who is it?
It also has more.
With the Alien, yeah.
It also has more memorable characters. I think The Thing does, as far as like the characters in Alien are great, right? Like I love, obviously Ripley, and I love Tom Skerritt's character Dallas.
Yeah.
And Brett. And NECA's making action figures of those guys too. It's like the 40th anniversary of Alien.
That's cool.
Technically, last year was the 40th.
Last year because it came out in '79.
I know.
Yeah,
but like they're celebrating it this year.
You're gonna go broke.
But
here's the thing though. Like, no puns intended. Here's the thing. What I love about Alien is the female lead.
Yes, that's what The Thing was missing is a female character
of any kind. Yeah.
But that's what's great about the prequel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the prequel isn't bad. So for all of you that don't know, well, probably a lot of you, we all went and watched The Thing in the theater a couple weekends ago. Our local Alamo Draft House, if you have that in your area, showed The Thing one afternoon, and we all decided to go. And it was awesome seeing it on the big screen. And it really, like, because I hadn't seen it in a while, like, afterwards I remember us all talking and being like, did you see that part? Did you get the hint on this part? And, there's that whole thing at the end, like, was Kurt Russell smirking because
of the drink?
Childs was going to drink or took a drink of a Molotov cocktail instead. But then we see that Kurt Russell's character was drinking from it anyway, or going to drink from it.
You said you thought he was going to commit suicide or something.
I think that's what I said.
That's what you said. Drink from it when Childs walks up, and then he stops. So it's like, yeah, was he just going to drink to get drunk?
That's what it just looked like.
Yeah, is he all his emotion?
Or was he going to drink to kill himself?
Yeah.
I will say something about The Thing. As great as Carpenter is, I'm not so sure that I wonder how much attention to detail he was really paying to it. Like when you have that, when you have, for example, when you have like, okay, so people say like, oh, well, Childs, you can't see his breath. Well, earlier in the film, when you have
Bennings,
yeah,
you see Bennings' breath when right before the
you see,
Yeah, because he's all.
so that's you know, so
it's Bennings.
Yeah, I'm really not sure he knew how how much people would be into this movie many years from now discussing the ending.
However, I will say this: right before they went into production, there was a strike in Hollywood, and that means they had a lot of time to plan out everything. So they had about six. I want to say it was like 6 months, give or take, to really refine the production schedule, and they did lay out these scenes like very intricately. Like, okay, for instance, the scene where you have to help me here. Windows is in the room, and they're like, "Go get the keys from whatever." And he comes back into the room, and that's when a guy is changing.
Yeah.
And you hear the keys drop out of his pocket. And then later on, they're like, who had the keys? Who had access to the keys? And they're like, well, it was so-and-so and so-and-so. But it could have been anybody because Windows had gotten the keys and dropped the keys when there was the attack. And you can hear it in that scene. So they planned that out specifically. That's pretty intricate.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good point.
So if you go, there's actually a couple of people that have done some videos on YouTube where they've gone through like shot by shot, and they don't necessarily agree with the whole Molotov cocktail thing at the end, but it's and I think it's more of a laugh out of like we're fucked.
I think so too.
But,
I think that was the point. Like, now we're gonna die.
But it is interesting. Yeah. It is interesting that Childs does leave that post after Blair, because Blair is underground. He could have come up and infected Childs. But also at that point, wasn't Blair just eating everybody and killing everybody at the end of the movie? He wasn't trying to like.
He was infecting everybody. He infected Norris, like, you know.
Yeah, maybe.
He was passing it along, but.
Well, whatever it is, it's a great fucking movie, and the prequel's really good too. And we were talking about it. The only thing that sucks about the prequel is the digital effects.
Yep. Yeah, the CG's kind of lame.
Yeah, and I mean, I can look past it. It's, you know, it's. I appreciate the prequel for being what it is without offending the original, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's a good standalone.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really, you know, alter anything from the original. Like, it's not a remake, obviously.
No, it's not a remake. It's a prequel.
Get another I guess, you know, viewpoint into that universe.
Yeah, and I really dig how they did it.
Yeah.
From the point of view of the Norwegians.
But you're right. I wish, you know, there had been more practical effects, you know.
That's kind of what's so appealing. Alien's the same way. What's so appealing about Alien and The Thing and movies from that generation is like, and even the original Star Wars before George Lucas went back in the 90s and kind of remastered some shit, is like, it all was done with puppets and practical effects or stop motion. And they'd gotten so good at it. Like the stop motion. Like, do you remember the movie Clash of the Titans? That's from the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The stop motion in that Harryhausen stop motion, like he'd gotten so good at that.
Or like Jason and the Argonauts.
Yeah.
That's like in the 50s, I think.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like by the 80s, they had gotten so good at it. And like there's some shit in that movie that you're just like, holy shit, that's fucking awesome looking.
And you know something? I remember being a kid and watching Clash of the Titans, you know, watching nothing comes really to mind. But with movies with stop motion,
King
you
Kong?
were never a kid. Like, yeah, you were never a kid, and you were never like, oh, that looks so fake. Nobody ever said that because we were so like
But we knew it was
immersed in
fake.
Like, no, we did,
Yeah,
but
it was like,
but
of course this is fake, but it didn't bother us.
But we were never critical of it. We were never critical of it. We were never like, oh, like it never took us out. We were always, entranced by it.
Yeah, I never thought to myself, oh, I need Medusa to look more real.
Yeah.
We for the time we absolutely loved it. Like we were just, enhanced by it. It was something that entranced. It was something that was just like, it was never distracting where it was like, oh, it looks so fake. Like people say that now where it's just like, because they're spoiled, like these days are spoiled by CGI and stuff like that. It's like they look back on an older movie and it's like, oh, it looks so cheesy, it looks so fake. But it's like, when it's something that we saw firsthand or when we were younger, it's different. It has a different effect.
Okay.
And it stays.
Well, how about this? I watched Jurassic Park, the original, not that long ago, and I remember when that movie came out in the theater, I thought they fucking made dinosaurs. Like that's how real it looked to me at the time.
It still looks good. Yeah, dude, that movie holds up.
The movie holds up. The movie holds up. But if you watch it now, you're like, come on.
No, dude, that first T-Rex attack looks amazing with the kids in the Jeep.
All right, how about this one? How about this one? T2.
Nah, that one's a little dated.
When that came out, I saw that in the theater. I thought that movie was the fucking best movie ever made.
I would agree.
The effects in that one are still okay.
They're still good, but
they're still good.
Yeah, it's not as mind blowing as it was though.
So on the plane back from Europe, I was watching the new Terminator.
How was it?
I got a half hour into it, and then I just turned it off.
Oh, it's a bummer.
Yeah, I couldn't finish. I did that to about 3 or 4 movies. I watched like the first Rambo, the new.
Oh, I heard that sucked.
I watched 10 minutes of that one.
Wait, which Rambo?
The new one? The newest one.
Oh, is it bad?
Is it Last Blood? Is that what it was called?
Yeah, probably. But I did watch the movie Knives Out.
Was that awesome? I heard that was really good.
I really liked it. It's a good kind of murder mystery.
Yeah, I heard it was good.
Yeah, so all in all, like, I mean, when you talk about movies, well, even The Fly, we were talking about The Fly and how I gave that 5. That kind of falls in that same category of Alien and
those effects hold up big time.
The Fly, of course.
Absolutely.
And The Fly was 86, so it's like The Fly, Alien, The Thing. What do they all have in common? Well, they're all science fiction horror films, first of all, which I didn't realize how much of a science fiction horror fan I was until I go back and look at the movies that I've given 5s to.
Yeah.
But I think I'd probably give the only. We never did Halloween 1978, excuse me.
That was one we almost did recently too, but I can't remember what we ended up swapping it to. But that was one that we kicked around pretty recently. Oh, I think I was going to pair it with It Follows.
Halloween?
I think so, because of the vibe and like the way it was shot. But then I think that was what I was thinking. But I was like, I don't think that connection would be lost on.
Yeah.
So I was like, nah, I'm gonna pair it with Drag Me to Hell instead.
Yeah, that made more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to do Halloween because that's one that I feel like. Well, maybe we'll do it this Halloween. Maybe when Halloween Kills comes out.
Yeah, we should.
Long pause.
Oh, I was reading.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I would recommend Knives Out.
Do we got any more questions?
We don't have any more questions. I think I can kind of ask everybody. I don't know, David. Can you see how many people are actually watching right now?
Only like 4.
Okay. Well,
That's right.
yeah, that's fine. But if anybody has any questions, now's the time to spit them out before we call it a night. We've been on here for quite a while. It's been an hour and 45 minutes, so
You could have watched a movie.
you could have watched
these assholes.
You could have watched The Invisible Man, but instead you're.
I'm gonna watch it tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it tomorrow.
Maybe Sunday.
There's.
I still gotta edit that Hellraiser episode.
Yeah, probably. There's.
You know what's funny? And I got to go back and fix it. Like some of the stuff that I added in, I was telling you guys, I only got about 10 minutes into editing because I was like adding stuff like to try to correct everything. But I was drinking the whole time I was doing it, and you can definitely tell a difference in my speech and demeanor. Like the on it goes. And I listened to some of it this morning. I was like, I've got to go back and either delete or re-record some of it because I just like you can just hear it in my voice. Like
well, I find it humorous sometimes too. Like when we'll get together to record and we record like 3 episodes, and like the first episode I'll have a beer, second episode will be like my second beer, and then depending on what we're reviewing for the third episode, I'll have 1 or 2. And by the time that episode is on, I'm like, oh, this is a Swirl podcast. This is bro. Like talking all slurred, and then if we release them in like reverse order for whatever reason from recording, it's like I get more sober.
Yes, yeah. I always tell people like every 3 episodes there's always like a sober episode, like a buzzy episode, and like a drunk episode.
Yeah.
Oh, I've had a number of drunk episodes. And a number of high episodes too.
Dude, there's one episode. Oh, which is it? Damn it! There's one where Alan, you are high as fuck. Which?
But it's very
fucking funny.
It's very noticeable too, isn't it?
It might even be The Fly. It's either The Fly or like Halloween 3.
The Fly is we recorded The Fly over at my house.
It's one of the ones we recorded at your house.
Okay.
But it's to the point where,
in particular, because I remember when we recorded, you could pinpoint the moment that it kicked, like it kicked in. You're like, there it is, because like I don't think it was whatever episode we recorded first. It was like the second episode, about halfway in. You're like, there it is.
I think that was The Fly. I think I was also drunk on that one too.
All drunk. I think I was drunk for sure on that session.
Yeah. But before we go, Christy says one final thing. She says it's been fun hanging out with you guys. And she says they're going to watch Invisible Man tomorrow night or maybe The Hunt. The Hunt was the other film that I want to watch also. So I'm glad. I'll probably watch both of those this weekend too, Christy. I'm looking forward to that. Although we started watching before we go, I gotta look this up. Hold on one second. I keep saying before.
We still gotta watch all the movies for next week.
Yeah, no shit.
While you're looking something up, I want to shout out to Christy. Atlanta is an awesome city. I hope that the Swearwolves can make it out there someday. We hang out with you. Hopefully, maybe a horror convention in Atlanta. That would be fucking phenomenal.
That'd be awesome.
And we appreciate everything that you do for us. Thank you for listening. And thanks for your support.
Of course, she's won a couple contests, hasn't she? Or at least one.
Yeah.
I think she's trying to win that.
That mask?
Yeah, that Ghostface mask.
If we ever get any more conventions so we can get more people to sign it.
I know, but we only have 42 people subscribed right now, so we'll have a little bit.
We got some time.
Yeah.
I was going to take it to Texas Frightmare and get Skeet to sign it.
Skeet.
And then Nev Campbell, Jamie Kennedy, and Roger L. Jackson are all going to be at Mad Monster if it happens.
Yeah, we'll get those. Hey, Skeet might show up for that one too.
That would be cool. Is that true? Have you heard anything?
No, Sean
Clark?
Sean Clark was on Facebook Live right before like about 6:00 this evening. And so I was watching him and I asked him what was going on with that, and I don't know. It's like sometimes I'll post stuff and nobody will comment to it, so I'm like, am I blocked by these people? Like, what did I do? Oh, there's a new show on Netflix It's called I Am Not Okay With This. And it stars Sophia Lillis, who played young Beverly Marsh in the It movie most recently.
Oh, yeah.
And
She's really good in that movie.
yeah, she did really good. But
She's a really good actress.
Yeah, that's the show that my wife and I started watching the other night. It's quick. They're like half-hour episodes. It's about this girl. She lives in like a shit town, but all of a sudden she's got superpowers. And it's not cheesy.
Oh, I think I watched like a trailer for it. It looked fun.
Yeah, no, it's really good, and it's like cursing, and it's kind of like The Boys meets.
Boys was awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of like The Boys meets. I don't know what, like a coming of age, like The Wonder Years. Like,
that's cool.
She does voiceovers and she curses a lot. She's going through puberty. She's
I said, speaking of the Wonder Years, one of the guys from the Wonder Years is supposed to be a Texas Frightmare. The chubby friend.
Yeah, you want to know why? Because he was in the original It.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He was Ben Haskam.
That's right.
I gotta take a leak.
All right. Well, hey, Alan.
Yo.
We're gonna sign off here anyway.
Okay.
All right. So.
Too late. Already pissing.
All right. Well, we want to, on behalf of the Swearwolves, I want to thank everybody for watching. And if you're watching this on replay, thank you. Be sure to subscribe. There's that little subscribe symbol down in the bottom corner. You can't click on that or anything. Drive by. What's up? Okay. Hey, drive by. What's up? Someone just.
Oh.
I don't know what that means.
Not really, I guess.
But anyway. There's a little subscribe button. That means you should subscribe to our channel. We are the Swearwolves. We talk about all things horror on this channel. We have reviews, how-to videos. I know David's built a couple things and shown you, maybe not exactly how to do it, but he's shown you that they exist.
I still got to do the bookcase one, man.
Yeah, the bookcase one, and then there's a project I want you and I to work on. That I want to come by your house and we'll do together. But that's about it. Listen to our podcast. We are every week on all platforms that you listen to podcasts. Nice to meet you, Alan. Keep being awesome, guys. That's what Christy just said. And for the Swearwolves tonight, I'm Brett.
I'm David.
I'm Alan. And hey, be safe out there. Take care of each other. And
wash your fucking hands.
Wash your fucking hands. Jesus fucking Christ.
And wipe your ass if you're able to do so.
Yeah, if you're able to do so. But hey, for people out there struggling, we're thinking about you. I mean, it's tough. Just hang in there.
Definitely.
We said, on like Twitter and just on our social media stuff, like just be nice. Like I think that's the best thing we can do for each other right now is just we're all in this together. Like when you have to go out, like smile, be nice, be friendly, be lighthearted, make jokes. Like everybody's so nervous right now. I think we just need a little bit more levity in the world. So
agreed.
My advice:
just be good, people.
Yeah, don't be a dick.
So for the Swearwolves this week, fuck Trump. All right, I'm gonna end the